This is Moriah. She's smart, witty, and incredibly fun. And an amazing creative.
This is Toni. She's a little wild, refreshingly candid, and an overcomer. And she makes me laugh. We want to invite you to join us on a cross-country journey as we meet new friends.
We'll laugh and cry and have our faith challenged to the core.
We'll be learning from women who've thrived in adversity.
Women with the courage to wait and listen to the voice of God. Women of Moxie. We're spending time with Dr. Lina AbuJamra, founder of Living with Power. Her global ministry serves refugees around the world, including her birth country of Lebanon. She's experienced being scarred by the church and is now helping others find hope in Christ in the midst of their deepest wounds. So, here we go. Lina AbuJamra.
Hey guys, get the Bible study.
She is a shakable Moxie today. Windy City, Chicago. It's cold, but it's beautiful, and I don't want to let it go.
It is beautiful.
Okay, I have something that's kind of cute. I looked up some facts about Chicago.
Oh, that is cute.
I did.
Okay.
Did you know that the world's tallest skyscraper designed by a woman is right here in Chicago?
Wow.
Correct. Okay, I got another one. There was a big old fire in Chicago in
Yes, the
1871.
Chicago fire.
It destroyed 17,500 buildings.
Yeah,
It
that's
deconstructed the whole situation, but it was rebuilt in just 2 years.
That says a lot about a city.
I can't even imagine what that would have looked like. You know, Lina, who we get to meet with while we're here, she actually deconstructed her Christian faith.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to have conversation with her about that, because I don't think the word deconstruction means the same thing for everyone.
I've never met anyone that has deconstructed and then bounced back in the faith, so I'm really excited for her.
Well, appropriate place to have that conversation.
I know,
When looking at a city
deconstruction.
that was rebuilt in
2 years.
2 years.
I know, it's kind of cray-cray. So good. Hey, Chicago. I don't know, maybe bring out a little bit of sun.
Bring some sun.
Sweet girl, it'll be great if you did that. We are going to be meeting with Lina. I don't know much about her. I know you've done your research.
Okay, I have been stalking her Instagram. I've been looking her up online. I mean, she's a doctor, ER pediatric surgeon for 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, she's got a global medical missions ministry. She does a lot of work back in Lebanon, where she's from. She's an author, podcaster, speaks 4 languages.
Of course she does.
Okay, I got a text from Lina.
You got a little texty text?
Little texty text.
What'd she say?
She said, glad you are on the way. The door is unlocked, but not for long because of safety.
Okay.
Just
Okay, that's
come
true.
on in when you arrive. Hello.
You guys are right here. Glad you guys found it so
Come on.
Was it hard to find?
Oh,
no, it was great.
no.
It's like so beautiful on the
Thank
corner.
you for having us.
To have you.
Look at this.
Look at this. Oh, look. Now, what is all
No,
this?
I thought I'd do a little bit of a Lebanese mix for you guys so you can get a feel for it.
Okay, so
got
we've got
you.
olives popping.
Those are Lebanese olives. I went to the Lebanese store to get them. You guys are getting,
wow.
you thought you were just here to talk about
real?
God, but we're doing a whole cultural thing. So, I know. Come on, let's see. So I am going to make you Lebanese coffee.
Okay, we've got
Toni,
over
why
here.
don't you go put your hand
Yeah,
in
I'm
your
gonna
coat.
go get my little
This is
situation
so cute.
together and y'all
Yeah.
do that.
I mean, it's good that Toni doesn't observe this because it's not easy making Lebanese coffee. And I mean, if any of my family is watching this, I've used this kitchen maybe 3 times since I've moved
they're
to this
laughing.
house.
They're like, she's
So they're
never
like,
done this
what
in
is
her
she
life.
doing? I know.
She's never done
so
this
I didn't
before.
call my mom to
But
ask
have
her
you
again.
done this before?
Yeah, it's been a few years, but.
All right, we're bringing out the old
But I'm
dusty
Lebanese. I'm
Lebanese recipe book.
This is in your blood,
for this.
right? I know,
Okay,
I know.
yeah.
I've grew up making the coffee for my mom at times, maybe once every 6 months. I don't want to be a liar. I'm a Christian.
Don't be a liar.
And if my mom is watching, she'd be like, "Yeah,
She'll call you out. She'll call you
She'd be
out.
like,
Yeah.
"Dear, our
She
daily
won't let
bread."
you get away with that.
You
She
have
will
not.
not. Can I smell it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. Shall we go to the living room and sit down?
Yes.
Salud.
In Chicago, we say cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Okay, here we go.
You don't even know a lot of it, just a little, but it's a nice bitter taste.
I'm gonna be up all day, I feel like. It's hit me.
Yeah.
It's not like
Love
coffee.
it.
You know what's crazy? I still taste it. I sipped it 10 seconds ago and I'm still like, it's still there.
Right there on the roof.
I know.
That is powerful.
So you're a pediatrician. No, you're an ER. Okay, help me understand.
Pediatric ER. So I did my residency in pediatrics. My life was fairly smooth, despite growing up in the war, despite moving to Green Bay, being like an outsider, all this stuff. I was very committed to Jesus. I'd given my life as a child to Christ, and then I came to the US, and at camp, I had felt God's, I don't want to say call. I don't know if I had that language before, but I felt a very deep personal encounter with God that set the stage for the rest of my life. And things really started to fall apart in college. About halfway through my first year, I met this guy and got engaged to him in a very quick period of time. I know, Toni, and 2 weeks before the wedding, we ended the engagement. And so, no, it's a lot of drama. And so the long and short of it is I sort of in my heart assumed that's what God put us in the same place. Still, you know how we are as Christians, when we think God has a plan.
Something for us.
We keep waiting. But now I also felt like in that season that I didn't like pediatrics.
Oh.
And, you know, I was a vivacious person, but I would just sit on the couch and I wouldn't even turn the lights on, honestly. Like, I don't know that I'd say I was depressed because I don't think I was clinically depressed. I think I was so disappointed with God. In hindsight, I think it was such a sad, heavy time, but my hurt felt like so, like, I couldn't understand how God set me up. Like, it felt like my first big crisis of faith. Like, I had done my part, and God didn't seem like he was doing his. One day, this was kind of a turning point. I was invited to a Sunday school class. The teacher bamboozled me. Is that a word?
Bamboozled.
Yeah.
Invites you to bamboozle.
She said, she bamboozled me. And she said, we're going to be a pastor somewhere else. We need a Sunday school teacher. She said, everyone voted, you're going to be the teacher. Wow. And I thought, you have no idea what I've just been through with God. But I was a people pleaser, and I started doing it, and I fell in love with the Word of God in a fresh way. And I saw that I was given the opportunity to function in my gift that God has given me, the teaching gift. Now I felt like, well, that's why I didn't get married. God's want me to teach His Word. Like, this is so clear. I felt a vocational call to ministry in that season. I was there for 2 years, and now I knew I was going to be a doctor to support whatever ministry God would put in my life.
So here's a question. I think it's interesting that your first book, Thrive, is on singleness. And then you put out a book called Stripped, which sounds super depressing. And then you put out a book called Resolve, which is like, oh, that was a quick turnaround. She figured it out. She's resolved. She knows what she stands for. And then you put out a book called Fractured Faith. So I'm like, Lina, are we starting from ground zero? Like, what went wrong?
Well, everything. Everything went wrong. I came to Chicago, my sister lived here, and I was going to a local church in the city, and it was like everything perfect in a church was there. And I had been called by God to a gift that I felt came to life even more at that church. And for multiple years that I was there, it was amazing. And so what led to Fractured Faith was sort of been the last 9 years of my life when sadly I ended up leaving the church because of just some immensely toxic leadership stuff that happened.
I love that you share this, Lina, because I've been through some church stuff as well. I remember my pastor sitting me down and saying that my purpose was connected to him. And that if I ever left the church, then I would miss it, that God's hand wouldn't be on my life anymore, like all these different things. And I felt blinded, like I didn't manipulate it. And then I was young in the faith too, so I really didn't know if that was the truth. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my purpose. Like, do I really belong here? Am I supposed to be doing ministry anymore?
Yeah, you know, honestly, all the stuff that you mentioned is like I've heard it in some form or fashion. So it was very dark for a very long time. I now look back and think I deconstructed. I would use that term freely. It's probably a topic for, I probably have to bring my sister in for that conversation. So we'll dig into it when we have dinner there. They're making us, because I don't cook.
I would love to hear more about this story
let's do it.
from the two of you.
I need to take a walk.
All right, guys, so it's going to be a crisp walk, but we're going to love it. It's going to be awesome.
We better walk quick.
Oh, no, she's not that far. I mean, guys, you're going to love my sister. She's, you know, I go over there every day.
Every day?
But I'll admit I usually drive.
Okay.
Because us city girls don't walk anywhere.
No, we don't. What is all of this?
I know. Talk us through what we got.
This cheese is halloum. This is what we call za'atar.
Okay.
This is eggplant dip.
Baba ganoush.
She's like, okay, as you're talking me through it, just let me sample everything.
This is lamia, which is pressed yogurt.
Yeah, pace yourself because it's like there's a lot of food, you know.
I love it, guys. Thank you all so much for welcoming us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm just gonna grab a few more olives here.
Yeah, please. All right, let's go. You guys got drinks? Yeah.
I need to get a Coke.
So is this what you have to do in Chicago in order to be outside?
There's no way you can be outside without
Wait,
fire.
where's Toni?
I don't know. Where did you guys leave her?
I think she's still getting food.
Don't worry about me, guys. I'm just fixing myself some dinner. I'll see you guys out there. I just can't eat. Why is this so good?
Toni!
What did she say is eating is her worship?
Woo! Here we go. Okay.
Thank you so much for cooking great food.
There she comes.
There she is.
I'm surprised y'all don't have it. We did. Oh, you got a little bit.
Oh my goodness. So glad you guys are here. My sister.
I do love you already.
I know.
It's been really, really good.
I can't imagine you guys never getting along. AbuJamra, tell us the truth.
We did divide the When I found the church, I felt like that's the reason I came to Chicago. Like it explained so much of what God had put in my heart. And so for a few years, everything was going good. And as I moved towards the year where my first 2 books were going to come out within a year of each other, was when I decided to leave. And I remember there was such a long season that all we did was wrestle over what was going on at the church.
Right, that was like at least 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
What do you mean wrestle?
What was happening? How were you involved? Yeah.
Trying to live out your calling in an atmosphere that was becoming more and more toxic, and trying to decipher, is this person, this pastor that I've admired and looked up to and has influenced my spiritual development, am I crazy, or is he really that wrong, or is this all gossip? And so, but there's a point where you go, wait, I think it's supposed to be more than just analyzing this behavior. Then things were happening in the leadership structure of the church that became public conversation in the city of Chicago. The noise got high enough that at one point in those 3 or 4 years, it became evident that this wasn't just bloggers trying it. There was some truth here. There wasn't a person in the church that wasn't affected in some way. And people were leaving the faith. We knew that because of the stuff that was happening. Now, look back, it was just spiritual abuse, narcissistic personality. It's like we have words for it.
We have words for it now.
But what happened? So you could normally, now we go, well, that was a bad place. Leave, find somewhere else. But I hadn't foreseen just what I would be walking through.
So what did rock bottom look like for you?
First, you're still leading a ministry, so you can't talk about it. You're told, don't talk about it because you don't want to harm the church, the kingdom of God.
Don't spread any discord.
So you have this persona that's continuing to try to live the Christian life,
Your faith
but
is just all
inside,
tethered in there.
you're kind of going, God, what have I missed? But the harder one for me was what was happening in my heart. So you're dating, you end the engagement, you think you're gonna marry, God says no. A week later, you feel called to ministry, you're flourishing in ministry, God sends you to the perfect church, you get chosen to be the women's director. It hurts when you see it crumble. Because you have faith in God and you feel a calling, and then you're looking at it going,
But what happened?
how?
It doesn't make any sense.
And I was like, God, I gave you everything, and this is what you do to your kids who love you. And so now you're like, God, I'm about you. I'm doing your work. I'm following you. I'm obedient to you. I want your name to be made great. And I did the right thing, and you led me in that. I remember telling Diana that, like, it would, I'm not an emotional person, honestly. It's probably just the cold and the fire. I'm an ER doctor, right? Like, we don't cry, right? But the people who are deconstructing, if you notice, are not casual Christians. The more all in you are, the more it hurts. You start thinking of the people in Scripture, and you're like, but eventually worked out for them. And you're looking at your life going, but like,
Is it?
I don't see that working out in my life. It's like you go into ER mode where you don't feel, you numb it. I think the best mechanism to deal with this, you numb your feelings for a while. You just, I don't know, you ignore it, but then you explode. There's a point, Diana was a beneficiary of my explosions, pretty much. Actually, your whole family.
Really?
Yeah, me more.
On a,
Me more.
Really?
You got it, huh, Diana?
Well,
was not one
again,
thing. I
I'm
mean-
the person she would vent to, right? And so nothing really happened, more of a space to
You just
have
had
a
to be
safe
there. Continuous.
expression.
I think what you spoke to, and it's a very real pain that a lot of people feel, including myself, when you're a hard worker and you have worked your tail off doing the thing that you feel God has called you to do, and you say, God, I did everything you asked me to, I sacrificed all of these things, and then you get to the other end of it and you feel burned. Like that tension, so many people feel that. I feel that.
And before, the place you used to go to see clearly
And to activate
was
all
in
those
church.
things for the church. When I went through my church transition, like before I got into another church, there was a level of healing that I had to do outside of the church.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to heal in the place and with the people that broke you in the first place.
Right.
It is just hard to do that. When God even called us to start building a church, I was like, nope, don't want to do that. Been hurt by the church. I'd rather just sit in the rows and be good to go. But here we are as pastors saying, we don't want to, but we feel like if redemption and revival is going to come in the church, then those that got hurt, we need to retreat, go get healed as much as we possibly can, and rebuild it well.
Amen.
That's the only thing we can do, is to try to do it better.
I still struggle when I
Same.
go into church. I really do. And I feel bad that I struggle. And I think if you are a mature Christian who's pursuing God, who walks through that sort of disappointment, I think you feel worse because you know that you should know better. You've taught the lesson, you've memorized the verses, you know the stories, but you just can't get yourself, your heart, your emotions to submit to what you know. But this isn't cooperating. And I think to even suggest that I lost hope feels so weak. And yet, I think that was the thing that was gone. And hope that things would change or could change.
As this pain and hopelessness grew, there was a questioning to how do I trust God?
Yes.
How can I trust Him? And then interpreting the circumstances you see in a way that how is He good? Oh, yes, He exists. And yes, He's good, but what He's allowing me to go through is certainly not good. And why do I want to have anything to do with that?
Yeah.
That's too much pain.
You know, and I think you sort of, like, you don't know sometimes what to do with that because you're trying to have a conversation with a God that you no longer trust.
Yeah.
And so you're sort of like, you're hoping He doesn't strike you down in it. So I can't speak for other deconstructionists, but I never lost sight that there was a God. I never stopped believing that Jesus died on the cross and rose again to save us. My struggle was didn't feel like I mattered to Him. Enough for Him to defend me, enough for Him to vindicate me, enough for Him to provide for me, enough for Him to prevent me from hurting so deeply. And I think there were times that I didn't see it. Why, as a single person, I would still be alive. It's not that you're suicidal, you don't want to die, you just don't see the purpose because your purpose is so tied to serving the Lord in the church, and now the church is gone and you're like, what do I do now? So what's the point? I didn't get married, I don't have any kids. I've reached the zenith of academia. I've got an MBA from the top business school in the country. I've got an MD. I'm practicing pediatric ER. I'm making a good living. What more am I here for? What the heck why am I still here?
Can I just say that it's so incredibly courageous to articulate as a very strong woman that I know you are. But when a strong woman chooses to say, I felt weak, like the hopelessness made me feel weak, it is such a beautiful display of courage to confess those moments where you feel so small. And so many other people can find that I can be a strong woman and also feel incredibly helpless at times. And I also really love that, Diana, you're literally just like here. You were there for your sister. You didn't give her answers, you didn't fix anything, but truly like the display of sisterhood, of going, I am good to just sit in this tension with you. How beautiful that you guys got that.
There was one day, I remember I came home, it was like a late winter day. I just didn't have words. I remember just looking out, just like I honestly numb, like sort of like, what now? And I just felt so like bothered. And I remember just kind of looking at the Bible and thinking something was like an inner I didn't hear a voice, but it was just like, open it. And I was like, no, I can't, like I'm so tired of this. I'm tired of trying to find the answers. I'm tired of feeling like this. And I honestly, I don't know why. I was like, I didn't have any other option. I'd worn her out. I'd worn my mom. My mom was like, my dad was already dead at that point. Who else do you have to talk to? And I was like, flipped it open, landing on Psalm 22. And I was stunned because it was the psalm that says, you know, my God, why have you forsaken me? And it goes on and describes the groaning in your bones and the tears and being left by God. And I remember reading it and thinking, that's how I feel. That's me. And I felt seen in a way that I had not felt seen in a while. And I think the gift in that moment I felt was this, out of this divine awareness in that moment, I just remember thinking, wait, this isn't me even. This is not written for me. And I remember thinking, this is Jesus. He's the one who felt this. And it was such a moment of intimacy to understand that there was this Jesus who not only understood me, but lived this. And it just was like, it just became, I think, the tipping point. I always think it was like light. It's like when you're in the dark room and you open the door a little and a little light comes in. And you don't quite know yet, where am I supposed to move out? Is this light coming from there? You can't see, but you can tell something is different. I feel so lucky every time I come to the city. I used to live about a mile down this way. Man, I feel I was so young. Imagine living in this area with the energy of the city, and I had so many dreams. So when things started falling apart, I felt like God had abandoned me. But what happened in the year after I left the church, it was a little thing, but it was a gift, because I think we miss the grace of God when we're in the darkness. It's in front of us, but you can't quite see it. You have to step back. I was sort of in the middle of trying to figure out what to do. I got invited by some friends. There were some of the, I mean, at that point, I don't think I liked Christians very much, but there were like 3 Christians I still liked, and they invited me to do a vision trip to see what was going on with Syrian refugees. What was unfolding globally was that the Syrian crisis was happening. There was a war ravaging the country, and at the time, maybe 1 million, and now over 2 million Syrians have had walked across the mountains into Lebanon. So here, I'm in like a messy place. I mean, I know Jesus, but I need to know him. I still was wrestling with him vertically. I was still all the other stuff. But in that moment, I saw something that blew me away. I stepped into this Lebanese church, and there were maybe about 200 refugee women there. And I remember standing up. I had something prepared, some notes, but then I realized, like, we're in the setting where these women have just walked across the border. They know no one. Kids. They're lonely. They're afraid. They're needy. They're desperate. And I thought, what can I tell them? I'm a doctor from Chicago, but I understood
you
pain.
knew loneliness.
Well, as I stood to speak with those women, I just looked around and I thought, well, I can just tell them what I know. The pain of being an outsider, the need of not connecting with others.
Not having a home,
I just told them that. And they had tears in their eyes. And I remember leaving and thinking, I have to do more of that. And now here we are 6 years later, I think, 6 or 7 years. We just completed 2 weeks ago our 16th medical mission trip. But that's not all. Our message has become, as a ministry, even more deeply ingrained in hope for people who need it the most.
How does it feel to go home, to go to the place that shaped you and go and bring hope to that place?
I think probably one of the biggest gifts has been that the very place that I left back in the 80s because of the war became an instrument in God's hands to show me what healing could look like. And so I found that the more you serve others, the more you start seeing that value of healing in your life. But it was also other ways. Like, I felt so much as an outsider in so many spaces in my life. And yet I would go do a clinic, and at the end of clinic, the people in the clinic would invite us to their tents. And I would go, and I feel very at home in that setting. For whatever reason, my soul comes to life. Sitting on the ground with a woman who suffered immensely more than me, hanging on every word of what it means to find joy. Sharing a cup of tea, which I don't drink tea, but just drinking it anyway because of the value of this communal
the experience and the
friendship.
Moment.
And then I remember there's a picture that my friend took of me standing outside the church with all of these head-covered women.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You could see in the picture, you could see the friendship, the love, the common
authenticity,
the support.
Wow. And was that so healing for you?
I mean, I don't think I'd be here today if it wasn't for that.
I love that.
Yeah. Well,
okay. I want to see more. I want to hear more.
I feel like we should get a snack.
Now that listen, y'all know I'm all down.
The snack has arrived.
I ate a lot at your family's house.
She ate a snack.
She might be Lebanese, actually.
Run it up. I've been running, but I'm never running out of luck. I get ready, then I do it, take it back and double up. Try to copy, but they never ever do enough.
I'm halfway done with my 10. I'm already halfway done.
Before we even left out.
Let me show you how to get it like me, get it like me. Cause the best is what I really might be. Let me show you how to get it. You wanna be like this, you wanna be like this.
I love a good redemption story. I'm just a sucker for a redemption story because we've both been hurt incredibly by the church. It robs you of your faith. It robs you of the people that you thought were going to be there for you. The people that literally shaped your faith also shaped parts of your life as well.
I've got 9 years to the date when I left my church. In September, actually, this is October, so right about 9 and a month. And you kind of look now at the spectrum of your life back and you see this beauty out of ashes. You really do, and it's shocking almost because not only do I see my own life has changed in that I am unshaken in God. Like,
there's no way.
Believe in the goodness of God to me now.
Period.
I'm still single. I still, I'm still finding my way in the church, I'll say. But I now do the ministry that we have internationally and writing about the experiences I've been through. Now I have this gift of time where I can look back, and they say that that's what faith is. It's like believing in advance would only make sense in reverse, right?
Yes.
And so you look in reverse on your life and you're going, how? I couldn't have even.
I know. I wake up every morning and I'm like, God, don't let me mess this up because this is just too freaking good to be true. And it's not that it's without pain because we're still going through the fire. You know, it's not that it's not without work, but it's just something about hope rising from the dirt.
I think Jesus just puts his arms around us in so many ways. Through people, through friendships, through Bible scriptures, through a song you hear that sounds familiar, through a refugee camp. And one day you wake up and go, my gosh, this is it's there.
I think what's so beautiful about, in a lot of ways, witnessing your story and watching you articulate some of the feelings and put language to some of your experiences, it feels like, if I can use a medical analogy, when you don't have language to articulate when you're going through deconstruction or questioning your faith, it's almost like going to a doctor's office with your hands tied behind your back and a piece of tape over your mouth. How are you going to let someone know? And the frustration that people feel when they're in the season of everything's falling apart in my church, in my community, and they don't have the words to express that need. What you've done
And the gift you've given to us in this conversation, in this trip, is helping put language and words to the struggle, untying the hands behind the back, taking the tape off the mouth. We are with the doctor, and we are pointing to the pain.
Okay, and I'll push this a little more because I think this is a great illustration. But here's even the more secure part of it, because I think even if you're that person who feels all tied up, I can guarantee you guys, I'm not being cocky, I'm a good doctor. I don't need the patient to have their arms and their mouth for me to know what's wrong. I'm on it, and I'm a broken human. Now think about it. We think I need to get my hands free, my mouth. No, it helps. But God is so much wiser than I am that He doesn't need you to say. That's been the powerful lesson in my life, is that even without the words, He's known the pace and the timing and the words to say to help me stand back up. You guys started talking about Chicago, how there was a big fire in 1871. Like I think, 17,000 buildings. And of course, there were a handful of buildings left in Chicago, and the only public building was this one, the Water Tower. Well, everything around it burned down. This building right here remained. Here's this building that stands as a remnant, as a reminder, as a symbol of resilience, of strength. And so the city got rebuilt, and meanwhile, they kept this building. They never tore it down. I love the building.
I love
it. It is.
It's got some grit.
It does. And when I think of even the city, I think of grit, I think of moxie, I think of how, even as I reflect on my story, like, it's interesting how God lands people where they need to be. And I'm telling you, Toni, and I think about my life, and I think about sort of the process of deconstructing. And while so many things have changed, the core of who Jesus is, what He has done for us, His deep love for us, His unconditional commitment to us has been the fuel to drive me towards where I am today, to rise up from the ashes, so to speak.
Come on. I know. Here's what I love so much, though, that, in our pain, most of us want to tear this down. They don't want the reminder of the grit. They don't want to see the pain. They don't. Every time you look at this building, what do you remember? The fire. But when you leave it, when you leave the pain as a reminder of what you've been through, it makes it all the more wild. I'm stronger because of what I went through. I'm stronger, and I've got grit because I know what it looks like to be in a valley and claw my way out.
And what does remembering look like? Remembering looks like sharing your story, sharing your experience. You have shared your experience with us, and that in itself is a memorial, and we get to look at it and we get to go, look what God did, not what Lina did.
Come on, it's our Ebenezer.
It's a story of men and women, in our case, women who look at life and say, man, I refuse to accept defeat because there is a God who has overcome defeat. And so we stand undaunted, we stand unafraid, we stand unshaken by the things that normally would shake a normal human being, not because of what we can do, but because of what God has done in us through Christ Jesus. And so I love it too. And I'm telling you guys, honestly, like, I didn't expect to love you guys as much as I have. You guys are amazing. And it's just been a gift to be with you guys. I think
Thank you. Thank you. Look, like,
that's
for real.
I know, it's been good. It's been good.
Lina can
Although I feel like I'm
matchless the way I'm made. Nothing's comparable.
Now listen, if you haven't picked up the Bible study, it is actually written by Lina, and she did a real good job.
So grab your people, get this study, and go even deeper into the Bible with Lina.
Yeah.
What's next?
Katie Lewis. She's a younger woman, but let me tell you, she has experienced a whole bunch of wrestling with God and figuring out how to process her own deep trauma. She's been through a lot, but she's crushing it.
Hey, as always, thank you for joining us.